expect it because of how well it worked. It's ballsy, like going into a Manchester derby and doing that to City.
All Guardiola needs is 100 mil. Like, that's all he needs, man. Just give him 100 mil. Like, he'll sort it. Just let him sign someone else. Whoppers. Couldn't happen to a nicer team.
So if Dorgu wants to become or wants to be a prominent part of this team, it has to be at left back.
I'll be honest, I think Dorgu looks more comfortable near the opposition's goal. He was kind of the same player that we signed 11 months ago. Whereas in this last month, I think he's developed a fair amount.
Sorry, Arsenal fans. This team is good. Don't get me wrong. This Arsenal team is very good. It's not anywhere near that realm.
Yes, ladies and gents, the boys are back in town. How you doing? Sam here. I'm with Nick. I'm with Dan. We've got 3 smiles on our faces. And I want to apologise to all the listeners because it's been, 72, 96 hours since we absolutely walloped City. But we're here. We're going to be back. The pod is back in earnest now. We'll be back on, Sundays and Thursdays. It's going to be released. Recorded?
Mondays and Thursdays.
Monday. Well done, Sam. You nailed that. Bloody hell. Jeez. Anyway, we're going to be speaking about the City game, reaction of all of that. We're also going to run through everything that we've seen in social in terms of United this week. The United 08 versus Arsenal 25. I've got to stick my foot in, man. But that just pissed me off seeing that. Paul Walcott having the audacity to even ask it. Anyway, we're also going to speak about sort of winners and losers under Carrick, like the members of the squad that we think are going to benefit the most. We'll also speak about the Arsenal game, big one coming up this weekend, and a bit of a news roundup towards the end, transfers, and anything else you might have missed. And Nick, I'm going to come to you first, right? Just talk to me about that City game. Is Pep cracking up? I think Carrick's broken him. No, actually, sod Pep. Screw Pep. Just screw City. It felt great, that game.
It did. And you know what? Like, I was trying to think, is that that's our best game in how long? Like, I was sitting there trying to deep it, and I was like, been a while. Like even the FA Cup final against City, it was like the last 30 minutes were twitchy. That never felt twitchy.
Mate, sometimes you can go hyperbole, best game. It really was complete start to finish, and we speak about this all the time in the pod. How often is it that United actually control a 90-minute game of football? Even if they play good, there's always a 15, 20-minute period where it kind of goes out of control. But Dan, for Carrick to get that sort of response after 3 days on the training ground, it was Old Trafford. I tell you what, sounded mint. Dan, you were there. You have a good time?
What an experience. Probably the top 5 atmospheres I've ever experienced at Old Trafford. It was that loud. Stretford End was bouncing to my right. Even you could see an East Stand scoreboard end. They were all getting up for it. It was brilliant. And everyone goes on about, and there's been a lot of talk about the United way, the United identity. In that game, in that 90 minutes, it showed what it was, I thought.
I think Carrick himself, even in one of the interviews before, he goes, I don't really, I can't be bothered to speak about it. He didn't say that verbatim, but he's like, I don't really want to speak about that. Mate, that United DNA, it is exhausting to speak about, but when you see a game like that, you're just pointing at it. You're like the fucking Leo meme, just pointing at the TV. That's what it was. The pace of that counter for the first goal. We scored 5 goals. We hit the bar twice. That, by the way, what was it, Mount's goal? How did they rule that shit out, man? Because they've put it on the wrong player. They've just gone, never mind, just put it on him. It was onside.
Going back to what you just said about the DNA talk, though. So, and we spoke about this before with the Ruben Amorim stuff, right? Where we said a formation doesn't determine how you play, how you play determine. If you can still play a 3 at the back and play fast attacking football. The one, I guess, caveat to that is maybe there are characteristics of the 3 at the back formation which make it harder to play that style of quick football. So that's that one part with Ruben Amorim and why going to a 4 at the back naturally helps us play quicker anyway. But also, this was the game to play quick. City, you know what to expect, right? I mean, the Ole laid out the blueprint for us multiple times when he had Pep Guardiola's number over and over again. That is how you get at this City team. And not just us, by the way. Numerous teams have been doing this over the last few years, especially over the last 2 years. So it played into our hands.
Well, especially over the last week, I think little cheeky Bodo Glimt went and spanked them out in Norway. They had to refund the fans. Shame. Mate, all Guardiola needs is 100 mil. That's all he needs, man. Just give him 100 mil. He'll sort it. Just let him sign someone else. Whoppers. Couldn't happen to a nicer team. Just felt good. Everything about that game felt good. Hey, again, something I can't be asked to speak about because the conversation's been given a bit too much attention, but Lisandro Martinez must have walked off that pitch thinking, yeah, you suck on that, you absolute whopper. Like, we've done plenty of content on it this week. I can't really be bothered to give them any more airtime, but I felt satisfied for Martinez and for Maguire to play like he did first game since November. Like, there was just a lot that we didn't expect to see in any way, shape or form that we saw against City. And we'll speak about the Arsenal game because, mate, first 2 games of Carrick, City at home, Arsenal away. It is like baptism of fire in that sense. Arsenal are pretty indomitable right now in terms of getting the results. I don't think they've been spectacular, but they're very, very good at doing what they do. And they're going to be very hard to beat. We'll speak about that a little bit later in the game. Nick, I'll come to you. Like, if you had to choose like a standout moment or a standout player from that game against City, what would you say you'd take from that?
You know what I'll say? There's a lot there that was really good, but I know can be good, right? Like, we know what Bruno can do. We know what Mbomo can do. We know what Ahmad can do. There's a lot of positives there, but we know they were there. The standout for me in terms of me kind of going, you know what, fair enough, is Patrick Dorgu. Now, it's not just been this single one game. It's been over the last month. But there was 2 instances. What was the first? So the first instance was a cross-field pass that he played to Ahmad. And then Ahmad had that shot, which then Casemiro missed the second. That pass, I didn't realize that Dorgu had that in him. The second one, what was the second one? Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. There was a second thing. Oh, when Bruno when Bruno crossed it in back post and then Mbomo was there, left it at the last minute, and then Dorgu took that touch and shot. I also didn't think Dorgu would have the technical ability to be able to control that and have a shot off. So my one biggest take there is I probably judged Dorgu a little bit too quickly in terms of I always thought that his technical ability would let him down. While physical capabilities are there, technically I wasn't sure. That game, those 2 instances was kind of like, oh, okay, like Patrick's got a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Good question. I've got to come to you this question now. I was thinking about this. What do you think is Dorgu's best position?
Oh, wait, did you say me or Nick?
Yeah, what?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said Nick. Sorry, I didn't hear you say Dan. I was like, sorry,
he can't get the staff these days.
That Newcastle game under Amorim where he played on the right, he looked really good. And then he's now switched over to the left. Now, I think it just suits him just down that flank. He doesn't have to cut in. I feel like Dorgu can just get the ball and just run. You don't need to say to him to do anything else. Just get the ball, run, cross the ball in, and just be an attacking outlet from that left side, which we've needed from a left-footed player. If you're constantly having players and wingers cutting inside, it's not the same as, and this is going to sound so old-fashioned, but it's not the same as like a left footer on the left wing going to the byline, crossing it in, or getting the ball in like gigs. Like it's not the same. And for me, I think Dorgu on the left is brilliant.
Well, you're going Dorgu. Ooh.
You know what I will add on that though. So I think Dorgu I think is somehow better going forward, which I probably wouldn't have predicted that when he first came in. I didn't know a lot about him when he first came in. But if we're going to get better as a team, Dorgu can't be our left or right winger. He's good, but he's not that good. So if Dorgu wants to become or wants to be a prominent part of this team, it has to be at left back. That is the only position where I say he may have a starting position in this team. So something that we did speak about Sam though was that maybe he's a bit of a jack of all trades, sort of a player that's good to have in the squad. You can kind of play wherever, whenever.
I mean, Jason Park, calm down there, Dan. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Mate.
He's not got 3 lungs, but still.
I'll be honest, I think Dorgu looks more comfortable near the opposition's goal. And if I was going to look at his first, because it's just under a year since he joined, I didn't think he'd really developed. I thought 11 months in, he was kind of the same player that we signed 11 months ago. Whereas in this last month, I think he's developed a fair amount. Like, maybe it's just fucking confidence thing. I don't know. But he's looking good, and I hope he carries that forward into the next game. But, speaking of the next game, I suppose we'll preview the Arsenal pod a little bit, the Arsenal game a little bit later in the pod. It's just, it felt like it left me a bit speechless, that game, in a good way. Whether or not United can take it forward, whether or not Carrick can take it forward, well, we'll find out in the Arsenal game. And who have we got after that? Is it Fulham? We got, who's on next week? Do we play Everton again soon? I made that up.
Yeah, Everton on that Monday night, and then West Ham on that Thursday night. Cheers, Premier League.
Cheers, lads. Cheers. But speaking about Carrick, we spoke about Dorgu, so maybe Dorgu would be one of those winners, because, Nick, you kind of posed a good question. It's like, who would we all choose as the members of the squad that we think in these next 4 months they're going to shine, or that not the biggest winners and losers? I think the biggest winner's obvious, right? It's Cobby. Everyone knows that, right? Cobby's come in. He couldn't have asked for a better mentor. If Cobby has any questions about the midfield position, let me just turn to Michael Carrick and ask what he would have done. Yeah, perfect, exactly. He played 90 minutes. He covered more ground than it. That was a stat that caught me off guard. Maybe it was because United only had 38% possession, so were therefore out of possession more in that game. But he covered more ground than any United player has this season, and the athletic capability of Mainu out of possession was one of the biggest reasons why Amorim wasn't playing him in that midfield too. So that's like an immediate sort of juxtaposition, if you want to call it that. And I actually thought it was class. Like that little shimmy to get past Semenyo, I was like, chef's kiss. Ooh. And that bit where they were taking the piss out of Cherky as well, doing a little rondo. Come on. It's like watching Nani back against Arsenal. He was doing keepy-ups. We were winning.
I know you lot have seen that, the Arabic commentary of that. The Bruno, Bruno. That's amazing. I love that so much.
Come on. Good videos, good social videos you can laugh about United. I like that. Like, speaking about social, I want to quickly head to that. We'll speak about the winners and losers in a sec, but like, I'm sure you all saw it, right? Was it Inter, Arsenal, Theo Walcott, Wayne Rooney standing there having a conversation, and Walcott, the ball's on him. He goes, yeah. Do you think the 08 United could compete against this Arsenal team? And like Rooney just looked him down, just like, we batter you. Like, I was so glad he responded like that. It's not even close, Nick, surely. And I don't mean that to disrespect this Arsenal team, but it's like apples and oranges.
That United team is one of the best Premier League sides we've ever seen. Like, factually, right? There's that team, there's the 99 team, there's the Chelsea team that only conceded 12. Probably have to put in City Centurions in there. That's the kind of realm that team is in. Sorry, Arsenal fans. This team is good. Don't get me wrong. This Arsenal team is very good. It's not anywhere near that realm. I've never seen a Premier League team who will likely go on and win the league have such a underwhelming front line. Like, you've got Trossard, Gyökeres, and I guess, okay, Saka's good, but even Saka's not, doing up huge numbers. So it's just not even close. Like, it's laughable. And I like you said there, I do love that Wayne Rooney didn't try to act impartial and just said it how it is. Like, it literally is. We would batter them.
So good at that.
Mate, like, and at a time where we're all starting to feel a little bit disconnected with players that we loved growing up, it's good to see Rooney just being Rooney and just like telling it straight. I always feel a little bit guilty how I treated Rooney towards the end, because like when that contract situation came out and I thought he was going to go City, I properly sided with Fergie and I thought Rooney was the demon. I thought Rooney was the bad guy. So those last few years of Rooney at United, I looked at him differently, and now that I look back on it, I'm like, I think I was a bit harsh, man. I think Rooney was probably right on to call out the ambitions of the club. And the word legend does get thrown around. I actually think it gets overused way too quickly these days. Like, Rooney is in that category. Rooney is an absolute legend of the game. Going back to what you were saying earlier, right? Carrick, the winners and losers. Like, I think Cobby's the easiest winner. Nick, who else do you think inside this squad is going to sort of enjoy working under Carrick?
So one that came to my mind is actually Lisandro Martinez. Reason why I say that is not because of anything on the ball, because I think on the ball it's more or less the same, similar as what it was to Ruben Amorim in terms of a heavy dependence on him to be able to play those passes out the back. But Lisandro Martinez cannot channel defend to save his life. So the criticism of Lisandro Martinez being small gets ridiculed, and we've seen enough of that this week. But one thing which is true is that he's just, this isn't really because he's short, I guess, but he's just not quick. That's just how that. He's a slow central defender. And when you're playing on that left side of a back three, needing to channel defend, you get caught out. And I actually think there was a few instances where he did get caught out a little bit when he came back under Ruben Amorim recently. So bit of a rogue one, not in a massive way, but I actually do think Lisandro Martinez is one extra on top of Kobe. And I guess you could also put Bruno in there as well, simply because he can play in the 10.
I think it's good. I think it's good. Dan, I'm coming to you.
I'm going to go Ahmad, I think, for my first one. It's a bit like the Dorgu mentioned option that I mentioned before. Just giving both our wingers the license to just do what they want on that side. For too long, they've had too many restrictions put off them of where they can go, how far they can go, the width wise, and then coming inside. It's just get the ball and just run down the wing, and that's what the Old Trafford faithful really want, and that's what they had against City. So for me, Ahmad on that side, and then I know he's a 5-time Champions League winner, but Casemiro, he got the man of the match the other day, and I know we always all going on about Kobe at the moment. Sorry. You can tell it's been a couple of podcasts, can't you? Or just a couple of times to the pod.
I think like when it comes to the midfielders, I think the big benefit of what we saw against City was like we stayed narrow. Like when we were out of possession, it was sort of like the back four were inside the 18-yard lines in terms of the width, and the midfield, the two wingers dropped back, and it was just two banks of four. But it wasn't at the expense of United having any threat going forward. I think we actually had bloody more threat somehow, but we just stayed so defensively resolute. It was that lack of spaces between the lines. I put Šeško down as a winner. I'm now kind of questioning it because, well, he didn't start against City. But I really do think that across the course of this 4 months, what you mentioned there, Dan, with Carrick, he's going to hold that width. You're actually going to have some real width in the United team. And it won't just come from an overlapping wing-back. It'll be somebody kind of just holding that line. With Carrick, we didn't really see it too much in that game, but you will get one full-back pushing forward. You will see United's right-back shift across and make a back three. So there will be a little bit of an overload, but typically your wide players are going to hold that width, maybe some like touchline width. And I'm hoping that Šeško can get those balls in. Look, we'll see. It might be the fact that it's going to be interesting to see against Arsenal whether he goes with the same 11, because why would you change anything from that City game between Arsenal? But then at the same time, could we really do maybe an outlook? Because I do think United are going to find it a little bit harder against Arsenal. If we approach the game in the same way, I think Arsenal will have right now a bit more quality to unpick that City just kind of couldn't do. But in terms of losers, who have I got down? I've got Dalot and Yoro down as my two. The reason I'm saying Yoro is because maybe it was just because it was his first game, but him going for Maguire, I think Martinez feels like if Martinez is fit, Martinez is going to start as that left centre-back. So who else you got in that right centre-back position? You've got Aiden Heaven, who's had a good season, I think, so far. You've got Maguire, who's now coming back. You've then got De Ligt too. And both of those are sort of your leaders by examples. And then you got Yoro. I think it might just get a bit crowded for him in that right centre-back position. So not that Carrick's not going to like Yoro, but I think there's going to be a lot of competition for that particular place, because I think Martinez, if he's fit, he's the guaranteed starter in those two centre-backs. That's why I've gone for Yoro as one of the losers. Nick, what do you reckon?
You know what? I didn't think about Yoro as a loser, to be fair, but it does make a lot of sense in terms of, well, 3 positions have now become 2. So instantly your chances of starting are slashed. And also, without being harsh on him, he is young, but he has had a few faulty performances over the last few months. So yeah, I do get that one. For me, I think this might be the biggest loser of disappointment. And not just disappointment, but Ruben Amorim leaving is Mason Mount. Mason Mount, I think, he's gonna hurt a lot from this, because he's gone from being because when Amorim was there, it was Mount or Cunha for that left end position, and Mount got the nod more than I expected him to in moments where Cunha was fit. But you're up against Bruno now. You're basically in the position that Kobe was a few weeks ago, where it's either you or the captain of the club, the best player at the club, Bruno Fernandes, and no cup competitions, no Europe. You're not really going to get it. Look, I know he came on. He might get some substitute appearances, but in the way of starting matches, he, I think, is probably the biggest loser I've got down anyway. And you know what? I did actually funny enough, I know you just put him down as a winner. I actually did put Sesko down as a potential loser.
Yeah, I questioned myself after I wrote it down.
It could go one or two ways. Sesko's one where because 4 attacking positions, because Ahmad used to play right wing back. So let's say that was 4 attacking positions. That's now become 3, and I don't know. Like I could just see sometimes Mbomo starting left wing, Ahmad right wing, Cunha through the middle, or you switch Cunha and Mbomo. Like I could see a way where Ahmad and Mbomo and Cunha some way or another start over him, and he's seeing bench more often. So Mount is the biggest, but I've put Sesko there as well.
Dan, who are you going for?
I've actually gone for Cunha.
Cunha? Controversial.
Yeah. Now, right, hear me out. Bruno's obviously in the centre of the 3 across the line, right? Cunha, for me, isn't a winger that Carrick wants, I don't think. So I think that Cunha plays in Carrick's system where Bruno's playing currently at the moment. Now, he could play further up, but why would you lose the abilities of Mbumo going forwards and breaking through the line like he did against City really well? And then you've got Sesko who can sort of deal with the aerial duels a little bit better and sort of bully centre-halves. Where does Cunha fit into that? Unless he's playing as a false 9, you could maybe put him on the left, but then you're losing pace on the left. So, for me, not so much as a loser, maybe a little bit step up from a loser, but
yeah, it's a bit strong, I suppose. I think when it comes to Cunha, it will probably depend on which fullback Carrick ends up pushing forward. Because one of the fullbacks is going to push forward, the other one's going to tuck in. If you've got the left back, whether that's Luke Shaw, and they're pushing forward, then you've got a bit of width, and Cunha can use that as the overlapping runners to disguise and go on the inside. But if you're going to be pushing the right back forward, and there isn't really much overlap on the left, then yeah, I don't think Cunha will be exactly what he wants. I think the good thing is that I think you're probably going to... It's quite easy to see where the flexibility is going to come in Carrick's system. There'll probably be games where you play more naturally left-footed players, Dorgu on the left and Shaw on the left, and you go with real width. There's going to be some times where Cunha might play there and chop inside. Might change it in a game. I thought the subs were good against City as well. Like, we may as well speak about the Arsenal game now, really, because do you know when the last time we won there in the league was?
It wasn't Lingard 17-18, was it?
Yeah, it fucking was. Like, it's 2017, man.
What?
Was the last time that we won at the Emirates in the league. Yeah, it shocked me as well. So we were on... It was 10 years for Anfield, and we're currently at 8 years since we've won in the league. I know we won in the FA Cup there on pens, but it's been a long old time. And, like, if you're Carrick, Nick, you going to change anything from that starting 11 against City? Like, what? Okay, that's a stupid question, because I think it's quite rhetorical. Like, why would you change anything from that starting 11? Maybe Delo is a conversation, but I think Mazraoui coming back from AFCON, I don't know. I mean, he's going to be a bit distraught after that. By the way, Brahim Diaz, mate.
Are we going there?
Mate, what?
Sorry. I have to say, if we're on this topic, I have to say it. That was weird. that to me, that didn't feel normal. Because listen. If I'm a Senegalese player, and that's happened, and this is a pen, and we potentially lose the AFCON, I am cheering. I'm running to Mendy. I'm kissing his forehead. I'm going nuts. Yeah. They didn't react at all.
You say it's pre-planned.
Weird.
Mate, it was
weird.
You imagine what's going. He's just standing there for the whole 7 minutes. He's like, "You're just gonna chip it. He won't know. He won't know. He won't know. Oh, he knows. He's never living that down.
Sorry, I think your point on Mazraoui's right, because mad final, you just lost, gone all the way to the final in your home nation. Maybe you're not quite there to start yet. Delo, weirdly, right, like he does so much right, and then the basic thing that you just need to do, like the last pass or just play someone in, he just gets it so wrong. So his running and athleticism might actually be good for this game. The only change that, I guess this would be 2 changes. The only thing that maybe I would do is Dorgu goes left back and Cunha goes left wing. Reason why I say that is because we had so many chances to run out Man City's back line on Saturday. We will not have as many chances to run out Arsenal's back line. We just simply won't. So in my mind, I kind of see it as two ways, right? Because we're not going to get as many chances to run at them. When we do we just go hell for leather and just push Dorgu up, push Kobe up, Bruno's there, and you just have 5 man who are just free to go on the transition? Reason why I also think that could work potentially is because Arsenal typically don't hurt opponents on the transition. So if you go forward really heavy and they win it back, I'm not all that worried about them then hurting us on the transition, because they're a more of a sort of suffocate your opponent until you score kind of team. Like, they just bop it about for about 5 minutes until hopefully they can find something. So that's the only change I would make. And I would just say, look, like, the moment there's a loose touch, a moment there, Bruno gets on the ball, Dorgu, you've got free license to just go. But you do lose a little bit with Luke Shaw there, because Luke Shaw on the ball is obviously a much better player than Dorgu.
Like, when it comes to Carrick's ultimate aim for this team, he wants control. He wants more than 50% possession. We know that those are the games that we struggled with the most under Ruben Amorim. Like, Dan, can you see this game? Can you see us going into the Arsenal game with a very similar game plan to what we saw against City? Is that what you would expect?
Virtually the same, yeah. And I'd expect it because of how well it worked. And it's ballsy, like going into a Manchester derby and doing that to City. Like, you'd want to do it again to Arsenal, obviously. So keep the same team. If it's not working at half time, for me, then you'd make the subs or changes that Nick said there, and maybe go for it a little bit more. But yeah, if they've won the derby like that against that City team, and I say that City team, but why not go to Arsenal? Why not go to the Emirates and be ballsy? Like, this is what we've needed to do for a while.
I think, like, you're speaking about Cunha there. Like, obviously everyone knows Cunha's greatest asset is his ball carrying, and there's probably going to be times where we're sort of 10 yards outside our own box and we're like we can't get it forward, and then Cunha jiu-jitsu someone to the floor, a bit of that, and then skip through and hopefully bring the ball forward. Like, what's everyone's prediction for Sunday, man? Like, I was my optimistic prediction for City was like a 2-1, and we absolutely trounced them 2. Should have been 4, could have been 6, and it was an obliteration. This Arsenal team, they know how to keep a clean sheet. They're very good. I'm not saying they're the masters of the dark arts, but they're happy being dicks. And like, they're just happy playing the clock down. It's just they're going to grind their way to a Premier League title, and like, congrats, whatever. Nick, what are you expecting?
I'm expecting a tough game. A transition moment against, City's inexperienced back line in comparison to Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. It's just not the same, is it? It's just not the same. Like, Gabriel and Saliba know how to eat you up in those moments. So, it's going to be a tough game. Arsenal will keep the ball much better than Man City will. And also, Arsenal will have a lot more intensity than Man City did. Because that's something that, for me, was very obvious, that Man City just didn't look at the races against us, and then didn't look at the races against Bodo Glimt either. So that's obviously a pattern for them there. Arsenal, it won't be the same. I'll be optimistic and say we're going to win, because why not? But, like, I know that's ridiculous. You said the stat there, we haven't won there since 2017. A few seasons ago, I said that Anfield and Emirates were the 2 stadiums I hated us going to the most, because there's just no joy for us there. So, like, my head will probably tell me, yeah, look, you're probably going to lose this one. Not by a big margin, but you're probably going to lose. But I'll always predict a win. So I'll predict like a 2-1 win. Go safe, but whatever.
2-1. Yeah, like, mate, you know what? If there's one thing, if it happens at the Emirates, I'm just gonna streak. If I see United score a similar goal, like breakaway, but doing it at the Emirates, like,
do you remember when Rooney did it?
Mad counter attack. No, even Bruno's, like, was it last year before? It was a fucking class goal, man. Class goal. They're my favourite. Again, they're my favourite type of goals. That and like a proper thunder bastard, like 30 yards in off the bar. That's it. They're my 2 favourite goals in football. And we scored one there against City. You're right. Trying to do that, and then you got Gabriel and Saliba tracking back. It's going to be a lot harder to find those spaces. We'll find out. Dan, your prediction? We've got a 2-1 over here with Nick.
I think out of the teams that Arsenal have faced this season in the Premier League, probably the 3rd to 5th most ranked that's caused them problems has been us. And albeit it was, what was it, second game in first game of the season? First game of the season, wasn't it? Yeah.
By in there.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to go back to that. So I'm going into this game with a bit of confidence. I shouldn't be. I have no right to go into this game with confidence, but I was there at Old Trafford when I saw what we did to Arsenal, and we should have got 3 points there. And coming off the back of that derby win, I'll go for a 3-0.
3-0.
Nice entertaining
that came
game.
out of nowhere. That came out of nowhere. I'm actually going for a score draw as well. This Arsenal team will get a set piece. We know it, right? Just accept it now. Right? Don't get annoyed about it. Just accept it. Go into the game knowing it's going to happen at some point. Right? Good. Well done. They've nailed that. By the way, Senny Lamon's going to have a cracking game. I don't think he had to do anything against City. But I think in this Arsenal game, if we get a result, Senny's going to have a good game. He's going to have to pull out a couple of saves. He's going to have to be commanding out of his box. Donnarumma was pissing me off in that derby, man. I was like, go away with your game of the season, man. Jeez. His starting position was nuts for like 3 or 4 times. Senny's going to have to do that. Not that they're going to hit mad on the transition, but we'll see. I'm going to go for a 1-0. And I hope I'm wrong. And I hope United win. And if we can get rid of the Anfield and Emirates hoodoo in the same season, that will feel tasty. And Carrick, just like on a final ending note on Carrick's first, I suppose, what is it? 10 days or so as United head coach. What's your feeling, Nick? Because I was so impressed. It wasn't just that we beat City. It's like everybody was fucking organised from minute 1 to minute 90, both in and out of possession. They knew how to drag the game wide. It's like they had a tactical approach to it as well as just knowing the right positions. So they got a lot across in 3 days. They've had a full week. Are you expecting even more? Can you get even more organised? Is it just the same thing, I suppose? Can we be better than we were against City?
I don't think so. Like we said that, against City, that was the best performance in years. So if he goes back to back, you need to give him a contract like immediately.
Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. We've got Rio. On the pod.
What am I expecting? I'm expecting another organised performance. You said there earlier, 2 banks of 4. I expect same again. A regular theme in that game was that Dorgu would sort of tuck in, and so it was a really narrow 4 in midfield, and Ahmad will tuck in as well. So I expect more of that again. Yeah, look, I mean, the first performance was really, really good, but there's too many external factors for us to really be able to draw genuine conclusions from that. There's, how good is City right now? We don't know. They just lost to Bodo Glimt, who had never won a game in the Champions League until that game. We, first game of an interim manager in charge where maybe the shackles are off, maybe players trying to prove themselves, and it's a Manchester derby, and then Mbeumo and Ahmad were back. There's too many, I think, external factors there for us to really be able to draw a proper conclusion. Like I said, maybe Fulham is actually the game where you go, okay, here's what Michael Carrick is trying to do. Because ultimately, if you want to progress as a side, it's not always going to be on the transition. We are going to have to get used to having more possession and then building patterns that we can beat a team while having possession. So Fulham might actually be the real test for Michael Carrick. But yeah, it might just be a little too soon to say at the moment. 1 game in, give it some time. But listen, I'm not on this. I'm not of this opinion that he shouldn't get the job regardless. If he does that well, it's a conversation to be had. That's where I'm at.
Suppose he's got 16 games. Like, if he blows it out the fucking water and he wins 14 games, who am I to say that he's got no right to? I can say it now, and I know that, and I will probably have that same opinion there. But I know that it's going to be a wave of. Look, we'll fucking reach that road if we get there. We've beaten City. It's Arsenal next. You know what it is right now? It's just we've been through the trenches this season. And we've been blown away. We've been reminded why we love United so much, why it's worth going through the trenches, because you get games like that, you get moments like that, and everything is shining again. Everything's great. Whether we can do it against Arsenal, I mean, we'll find out. But I hope you all enjoyed the pod. Thanks for listening. Big up to Dan, big up to Nick for joining in. As I said, we'll be back here regularly on a Monday and a Thursday. And if you're on YouTube, they'll be going out the next day in video format too. So make sure you reach out. You can email us. Maybe we'll do like a tweet, like encouraging questions for the pod or stuff like that. We'll try and involve you a bit more, and on Instagram too. But yeah, big up to everyone. And yeah, Carrick, if you can just beat Arsenal next, that would be much appreciated. Cheers, mate.